Welcome back. Eric Hattie, Everyday Hustle. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode talking about working from home and solitary confinement and all the trials and tribulations and challenges of COVID-19 quarantine and making the most of it, making it work for you. We have a great episode today, about an hour and a half long, with an old friend of mine, a guy named Chase Harrell, who's the president and co-founder of 360 Home Connect. It's a fascinating business model that turned several industries kind of up on their head, and he's one of the pioneers of it. Truly enjoyed the conversation with him. There's going to be a ton of notes in the episode notes, references to books, to podcasts, to a couple of blog posts, one that I wrote a couple of years ago. Just lots of great stuff. I really appreciated him taking the time. I'm not going to lie. It was a little weird. My first interview was my mom. My second interview was my best friend. I've known Chase for the better part of a decade, but it wasn't the same love-filled, laugh fest, automatic comfort level. So it took a little bit of time to kind of get comfortable in the seat and really get the interview going. But just a super smart guy. I truly admire what he and his business partners do. And they're changing things up in how they treat employees and how they attack the industry and how they run their finances. And he gets into all of that. So great episode. We've got several other guests that are on the horizon. We're getting those booked as we speak. So stay tuned for those. I'm always looking for feedback, thoughts, topics you'd like to see covered, anything and everything. I read every piece that comes across, which, kind of sounds a little advantageous. It almost sounds like I get like tens of thousands of pieces of fan mail, and there's like 5 of you. But that's okay. The number's always growing, and we're getting better and better at this. So, I hope everybody has a great holiday weekend. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Be safe. Do as much as your government will let you. And yeah, if you, so I actually, fun fact, I recorded 2 intros for this already, and both I had to scrap because my stupid ass for 3 episodes now has been meaning to say, if you like what you hear and you're listening on iTunes, Spotify, Google, wherever, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're watching me on YouTube, I'm sorry I'm not prettier, but please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and it would help me out tremendously. So guys, girls, have a great holiday weekend. I hope you enjoy this episode. And without further ado, my friend, Chase Harrell. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You predominantly drove everywhere, right?
Yeah, so
you're a road boy.
Back in the P10 days, yeah, I was driving everywhere. Here, dude, just January to the beginning of quarantine, I had already done 28 flights. Yeah, 28 nights. I was just looking at it this morning because I had to cancel our Cancun trip because they've locked the border for another 30 days. We were supposed to go mid to late June.
We can't. We got ours canceled.
But yeah, it was 28 flights and 32 hotel stays year to date.
Phew.
And that was just January, February, basically.
Did you ever, because you've been working out and you were getting in shape and stuff like that. But that kind of travel just wears on anybody, I would think.
Yeah. I love it, but like late February, I was telling Jess, like, I think I found that line of what too much is, because it was like I went from working out 5-6 days a week to I was like the beginning of the year I was maybe working out once every 2 weeks. Like I was maybe seeing my daughter, I would see her on Saturdays and Sundays was basically it. And dude, it was too much. So my sweet spot is office Monday, travel Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, office Friday, and then have the weekend. That's my fucking sweet spot. That's how I did it at Perfect 10 too. So,
yeah.
So, well, hi Chase.
Hi.
Tell the internet who you are.
Yeah, I'm Chase Harrell, president at 360 Home Connect. Been in the home connection business for now. It's crazy. I started in 2010. I was telling my guys, Rocky, I was like, man, we've been doing this for 10 years now. Holy cow. We're a home connection service. We help, started with helping just new homeowners obviously transition from one home to a new home and getting them kind of connected with all the essential services, water, gas, electric, the telecom services, internet, TV, at one point home phone. That's kind of transitioned.
How many home phones do you sell?
Yeah. Okay, so it's crazy. Like, I'm not kidding you. This week, some of our reps, all of a sudden we have like a resurgence of home phone sales. And, I'm not kidding you. I kind of got caught off guard. And I was like, Sandra's our rep. I said, Sandra, I've not sold a home phone. We sell mobility now.
Right.
They're big push on cell phones and tablets. And they were talking about porting 3 landlines. I was like, oh my God, I haven't, kind of brought me back. I was like, oh, I haven't done that in 8 years. We're starting to see a little bit more of it.
Yeah.
I think people are going back to it just because some of the cell phone plans and the data plans are a lot. If you can kind of diversify it, so many people are using data for their phone. That there are some really good competitive home phones. If you're opening a home business, it's just easier to separate the two sometimes.
Yeah. Plus, people are actually home. I mean,
right. That too recently. Yeah. I think that was a big one. So yeah, doing that. Big on the home automation piece right now is huge. I think people more than ever have wanted that sense of kind of like, I need connection to my possession. I need to be on, very protective and aware, I would say, of wanting to be in touch with everything. So that's been a big one. Obviously, and internet's almost transitioned to, when we used to first call, people would be like, oh, we need to make sure your water's on, your gas is on. People don't care. Who has internet for my home and how fast is it? That's turned into like the core.
It was right before I left home. Right before I left P10, there was some study that they had found or they had come across, and it showed that people pay their internet bill before they pay their rent, their water, and their power.
Yep.
And it's so fucking counterintuitive because your internet only works in the house if you paid your rent, your power,
Yeah, we'll have people that'll call us on the day of closing and say, hey, I totally forgot to take care of my water, my gas, my electric. We'll take care of it. We're like, okay, hey, do you need to get at the internet? No, I scheduled that 3 weeks ago. They had to have that the next day they moved in. It's
fucking crazy. But yeah. I get the home automation piece. So I was telling you earlier, I built a server rack over quarantine. Part of that was I had a place to put my 16 channel, 16 terabyte DVR for I have now 14 cameras in the house. So, really more the perimeter of the house. And I keep looking up because there's a screen right above me with it's like fucking Scarface style.
Right.
But I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exterior cameras and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interior cameras. 6-ish. One of them's in the garage.
Lockdown.
For real.
The cameras are a big one. But a lot of it's now we're actually starting to see more of like thermostat, like just the lifestyle stuff's really blown up, like controlling the lights and I think the door lock is like the automated door lock's a big one. When we're setting people up, it's too funny. Obviously the internet's a big one. TV's making kind of a resurgence.
Because people are home.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the companies finally, two things happened. I think the streaming services finally started, I think that the content providers kind of woke up and were like, hey, wait a minute, we can't just give them that for free. And you're seeing, The Office and Friends get pulled. It's just a content war.
Right.
And then Two is I think the providers kind of said, okay, we've got to change. Not all of them, but
right. Here's the big problem is, we were saying years ago that it needs to be more a la carte. It's because it was here's 175 channels you don't give a fuck about, or 250 channels you don't give a fuck about, or 500. And we were like, man, it needs to be more a la carte. And now like ESPN's got their own thing. NBC is putting out Peacock. There's all these different streaming services.
HBO Max got Friends.
Yeah. But here's the fucked up part is because content doesn't overlap. So, if you absolutely want Friends, you got to go get HBO Max. If you absolutely want to watch The Office, you got to go get Peacock. If you Netflix has just a shit ton of good content. And so now all of a sudden you're paying the same fucking money that you would have paid for a satellite TV bill. It's just spread across 6 different streaming services,
Yeah, I think what we're doing now, and we're definitely, excuse me, promise you it's nothing. It's allergies. I've been self-quarantined. No, we're seeing this, and what we're telling a lot of people is TVs are smart now. So you don't have to have a box on everything.
Right.
I think that's what really killed some of our telecom providers is the whole home DVR and having, $90 worth of equipment fee. Like my patio, I do have AT&T.
Right.
But for my patio, I just use my login and I have the FX app, so I can go watch all their content on the TCL. I have the NFL app on there. I have ESPN, and I just, for the first time, I was telling my wife, I was like, man, never entered so many verification codes on my phone. I'm like, okay, what is it? You do have to do it for every channel app, but that is a unique way around saving the $11 on a box. And if you set up a service with one box per se, and then you had access on your other devices,
right? Kind
of a unique trick that's what they're getting around. But yeah, man, it is a la carte. You could have people that pay ESPN, HBO, and watch YouTube the rest of their time.
Right.
Well, dude, and that's something I still don't understand.
No bullshit. Not even 72 hours after I left P10, I got a letter in the mail from DirecTV saying, "Hey, we see you're no longer an employee of a partner of us. Great news! You can keep your service, you can keep your equipment, but it's going to the rack rate next month. And on the package you currently have, it was like $289 a month." Because that was every movie channel, all the Latino channels, I had six receivers, I think. So, and I was like, I could have just scaled it back. I canceled it. And for the most part, we've made it with Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, now Disney Plus, and the occasional.
Disney Plus is huge.
I admitted on an earlier podcast that my guilty pleasure is Vanderpump Rules on Bravo. And so
I've watched it.
I use my mother-in-law's DirecTV login. That's really the only thing that I have to use the DirecTV verification to watch.
Yeah. Have you actually messed around or seen the AT&T TV?
Is it just a rebranded DirecTV now?
No, they're pushing that real heavy. Like the structure is almost like, hey, we want this. And, if you have DirecTV, you have, 6 or 7 devices that you need.
Yeah.
A big house. It's still the option lake house. But, if you're just one of these apartments or townhomes or just casual, you travel a lot and you have 2 devices, it goes toe to toe. Now, I think it'll be unique in what they're telling us is, instead of giving away the NFL Sunday Ticket, you'll have a choice between the Sunday Ticket or HBO Go and Disney Plus free for a year.
Oh, shit.
And I think if you can start getting into that stuff, where you're giving away some of the content.
Yeah.
And this is just pipe dreams that we've talked about, but that would be, I think, very competitive. And Comcast has got some good products out there. We're seeing. Through this quarantine, some of the companies aren't even selling TV at all.
Right.
Like Verizon and Frontier cut it off.
It's crazy. What what's, you know, being impacted and what's not. I mean, you know, I'm in the home security business, and I thought for sure, you know, 80% of our business comes from door to door, and you can't go door to door right now, but we only took about a 50% hit in production in April. And, you know, so a lot of it, I mean, our dealer channel suffered, but our internal sales was through the roof. And it was people calling in saying, oh man, I need this now. Because you know, it was fun. People want toilet paper, bread, milk, eggs, and then either a gun or home security is what it seems
security.
like.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking that too. And I feel for those guys. And, you know, we just told our staff, and you, I think I've known you long enough that you know us. I've been from the bottom. We grow bottom top.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a different philosophy that we have. So we met with our staff pretty early on. You know, I think it was really hard for owners, myself, Mike, and Warren, just to kind of, you put all this emphasis on October, November, building this 2020 plan. Okay, we're going to hire this many people this month. This is our, you know, we had all the numbers in place, and then this thing, you know, just comes at you. And I think half of it was just, we always believed it, and we still do. I mean, obviously it's a real thing. It was just like, you're watching this kind of chain of events come in, and you know it's coming to your town closest to you. And so I felt like we jumped on it pretty early, and that was the best thing we could have done looking back.
How much of an impact has it had on your guys' business, given that you guys rely a lot on new home purchasing, and people moving? How much has that affected you?
So we did some unique things. Nothing. We are actually desperately trying to hire people right now. Like we opened up an Indeed app, and we couldn't. I'm not kidding you. I'm paying referral fees to my employees. Like, hey, call someone. And I think there's three things happening. I think people were furloughed and are going to go back to their job.
Right.
I think people are unemployed and making a lot of money on unemployment right now. You know, some people can make $4,000 a month on unemployment. You know,
that's crazy.
Obviously, if they had a job, they need to be taken care of. I'm not mad about that. But
sure.
If you're okay right now and you feel that being in home is safe and you're making money, I can't knock that. So I did open it up to see kind of what the pool would be like. You see 6 million unemployed, and first 3 days we have 4 applications. I was like, no way, you know, base salary and everything. So, but yeah, Texas in particular. So what we did was we really narrowed in where these states are getting hit hard and where they're really getting shut down, you know, and there's still 11 states that real estate is non-essential at all.
No shit.
Which, you know, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like, you can't move.
That's weird.
And that affects, you know, that's where you're seeing the unemployment, because then movers are unemployed.
Right.
Inspectors, lenders, title. And it's just real estate's a big, big alarm. Telecom. It's just, it's a big, big chain. So Texas luckily has kept open. You know, our agents you're really seeing it. They're really taking this to heart. I mean, gloves, masks. You're seeing a lot of virtual tours given by agents where they're going in and just showing, you know, people homes. And I think that's
our door-to-door guys. That's one of the ways that they try to adapt is a lot of these kids were throwing, like, you know, $20 into Facebook ads every day. And anybody that would bite at it, they're doing a virtual walk through the house. Okay, take me to all your exterior doors, take me to, you know, this, and selling completely remote. And it's working. So
it's genius. And people are home.
People are home.
Yeah, that'll be our thing. People are home. Yeah, and I think that's the thing. You see these guys that are intuitive and say, okay, one of my problems when I'm knocking doors is I'm hoping that they're home. I'm hoping that they didn't just get home and drop off the groceries and run to the front door. It's like got to be a timing thing.
Right.
That's pretty smart, man. Good for them.
Yeah. So
cool.
One of the for the internet, there's the background of how I know Chase is, we've known each other about 7 years. I was your account manager for DirecTV and AT&T. And you were my favorite account because I could just call you and bitch and vent and spitball and just we could fucking talk about anything, and you were always there for it. But there's a handful of things that I really wanted to talk to you about today, and and I already texted you a list of things we would talk about, but the things I admire the most are you started a business from scratch with business partners, but you did it in such a unique way because the money, the business was making money hand over fist, and it wasn't going straight into the ownership pocket. You were investing back into the business and back into the business. Yeah. I'd love to talk about that. I would love to talk about you guys treat your employees so well that you have, I mean, it was so rare that I would see different faces when I came into your office. If anything, the different faces were because you guys kept expanding. So I'd love to talk about that. So talk us through where I really want to start is your business is solely dependent or mostly dependent on leads being sent to you. And so what I would love to talk about is when you started your business and you had nothing, how did you build this empire of companies sending the business to you? What did that look like?
That's probably the grind part of building the relationship. Was a bit, I would say my in was, my mom is a lender for mortgage companies. So I did have a little bit of an in on a couple of offices, but we knew there was a problem with people moving. We knew that there was a need for this service, if they've got a ton on their plate, and we just believed in our product. So I would order a platter of Jimmy John's and I would just go into a broker's office and I would just sit in the kitchen and just tell our story and just be like, hey, I would just ask them, so what are you doing for your clients when they move, to set up the utilities? And they'd be like, oh, hand them a list or nothing. I do nothing. It's up to them. And so we would try to kind of say, hey, look, let us work for you. Let our company work for you. We want to take care of all of that. Doesn't cost you anything. Doesn't cost your client anything.
Right.
We do it all for free. And, nothing's for free. And we'd say, well, it's not free. I said it's free to you and your clients, not free to our vendors.
Right.
So that was, the hard part's getting the vendors. Building the CRM as a non-tech person that never stops, is what I found out. But biggest thing is you've got to get a lead source. You've got to pick your pocket or your territory. And I still say this to my consultants today, tap your network, like your buddy, we're in this age now where you don't even have to do half the things that I did because there is a market at your fingertips, and the main thing is, tapping into the real estate and then explaining our why. Here's why we want to help you. Here's why we want to help your clients. And here's why we think this is a benefit. And I think we just bled our brand and we just truly believed it. So when it wasn't begging, but it was, I'm personally going to help, I think that was a big one, hitting the market, finding out that, we didn't try to go nationwide and bite off. Our big philosophy is before you get to, point D, you've got to hit B, C, you've got to hit the right steps. You've got to baby step it. Right. We didn't really care about becoming weekend millionaires. And I think we embraced the grind. Yep. We knew, I remember talking to my wife, it's like, this is going to suck for the first year. I'm going to be poor. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to always be on the phone. There's always going to be something wrong. I will say the best decision, and I say this to everybody thinking about starting a business, don't do it all on your own. Right. On certain things, be willing to accept partnerships. Those debates are the best thing ever. They've stopped us from making, I had what I thought was a great lead source, and it ended up costing our company a bunch of money. And because of our partners, they're like, hey, we're I know you love this, but we're overruling. So having those guys is just a balancing act, and not having to do the task. That's the other thing. Know your weaknesses. Not, a guy that set up CRMs and the financing and making sure every I and T's dotted. Get yourself a very trustworthy CTO, a COO.
So
which
happens to be what?
My father-in-law.
Oh, Mike. Yeah. So let's talk about the fact that it is a partnership business, because I've worked with business owners for the better part of a decade, and the crux of most businesses, if it's not spending money they don't have, is partnerships that go sour. And I managed your account for 5 years. I never saw any turmoil in the business whatsoever. It was fascinating because you guys could disagree about shit, and it was never fuck you, no fuck that guy. It was just like, oh yeah, we talked about it, we figured it out, it's all good. How the fuck do you do that?
Man, I think they're really smart and talented people. So I think, when you have some people that can legitimately prove you wrong and be like, like Mike, our numbers guy, he'll bring straight numbers to the table. It's like, well, bam, it's like, all right. Rocky and I are more of the passionate, people, and something. Mike's super compassionate, but he's our old school. And I think that's a great question. We just make it work because I think we all have even stake in it. None of us want it to fail.
Right.
So I think if you have that understanding of like, he has literally as much to lose as me.
Right.
And we're honest. When we feel like there was times through some of this where some people with the quarantine in particular, you're not seeing what everybody's doing every day. And so when you say you're busy, they're natural, like, what are you busy with?
Right.
Prove it. Screenshot it or it never happened.
Oh my God, I'm going to do that with my employees tomorrow.
Yeah. Trust is the big thing. And I think, people are blown away that my father-in-law is in charge of our money. But again, I know he has our best interest. And then Spencer and Rocky I trust them with everything. I think that's the thing. And I know we've disagreed before owning a company.
Right. Because these are,
I knew that
Rocky and Spencer are what, childhood friends or college friends or?
Yeah, I've known Spence since I was 5, 7. I met Rocky. I met Rocky like the first day at Tech. He lived literally right above me in the dorms. And it was one of those things we just kind of hit it off. He's a good dude. And then we just became roommates after that. So
that's crazy. So as the business grew, because, I said the crux of businesses from what I've seen is they spend money they don't have, or the partnership goes sour. As the business grew, because you guys are certainly $1 million plus business.
Yeah.
How, and I guess I should preface this question with, you shared with me in the past that you guys pay yourselves very modest salaries as owners, and you take disbursements as they come. But how do you have a group of 4 owners who see 7 figures coming in and go, man, I'm kind of sick of making 50 grand. I'm not going to lie. Like,
we have given ourselves, we did finally get to a better point than that. That was probably some of the arguments is, I'm the guy that's the go. And I think Mike I've learned a lot of, it's so funny. Ironic you said that. He would keep like 6 months for a, emergency payroll for like our entire staff.
Yeah.
He's like, we need 6 months. And I'm like, what do you mean? We have a service industry. It's coming in, we every month, as long as we're setting up clients, 6 months.
One day there might be a pandemic, son.
I'm like, and not like a flu virus or anything like that. He was, and this is where that experience of not being 33 and having being, able to be told you don't know everything. I've seen more than you. Man, I swear to God, he said, you never know. And I was like, all right, here we are now. Didn't lay a single person off. We're hiring, we've given raises throughout this. Our bank, he was looking at the SBA loan. He's like, yeah, you can't be, you guys are giving bonuses right now. What are you doing? And we asked, we were like, well, we need the loan to hire people. We need working capital. And he's like, that's just a normal loan. How are you asking for that right now? No, it's good things. But big thing with us is I've worked for nothing and built something for someone else. And I think our vision was, if we can make everybody else their own owner, and I got a lot of books, Dan Pink, the book Drive, I live by this book. It just talks about what inherently motivates people. And if you truly want someone to represent your brand and do as good of a job as you do, you've got to give them what they would need, what you would want. Right. And so we're heavy on customer service. And my belief in this was, you don't have to go out and get super big. If you just have people that are amazing and you hire talent, you keep talent, they'll grow the business for you.
Right.
That was honestly probably the harder thing is, we'll pay them. It's that I've got some of my best people that are, 10, 15, 20 years older than me. And I think sometimes they look at me like, still can't believe you thought of this, Chase. We've hired a lot of former real estate agents. That was our big turning point. I love door-to-door guys. And I love the product knowledge, but we found out that if you don't really know what a buyer or a homeowner's going through,
right.
And you guys provide such great resources. Like, I can train you Brinks and teach you to, do that. It's a lot harder to teach you what an option period is and an inspection and
right.
why homes might fall through and how stressful packing up, that whole process. And
right.
so, that's kind of our play, is that we're building them individually. And what we've done is, we call it the NASCAR approach, where, I always said people remember the drivers. They don't really care about the car. They might know the advertising, the powered by, but they follow the driver.
Right.
And so we're really taking a pivot and building out our database, our CRM, and making the technology for them, and then getting our headshots of our consultants. And then we want the agents saying, hey, I'm calling Team Brado,
right.
like their connection team. It's just powered by 360 Home Connect.
That's smart.
Yeah.
So the people listening, help them understand what's the benefit to a real estate agent to refer a home buyer to you? Is it purely just an added benefit to the home buyer? Is there something on the back end for the real estate agent? What does that look like? What keeps them coming back to you besides the customer service?
We do a bunch of, that's a loaded question too. We thought we had just kind of, some agents wanted, agents are their own business owners. And so what we did was kind of redo the approach and say, what do they need to help their business grow? If their business is growing, we're growing.
Right.
And so there are referral fees that we help them with. If they need help with marketing, we've got a couple agents that do a ton of listings, and they needed, he said, Chase, if you could just provide sandwiches and bottled water, it's, a couple of my listings a month, that would be such a help. And we have others that we provide our CRM, and they want a dedicated consultant.
Right.
And they want a set person that's added to their team. They know, Lisa's in charge of all my clients, and we'll brand their team again. So if you're a real estate agent and you work at a Compass or Keller Williams, we have partner pages that are geared towards you.
Right.
We would assign you a personal consultant, and they will walk your clients through. So you'll have the same person every time. So loaded response, we kind of do what they want with that, as long as it's in our means.
Sure.
They're big on making sure they're in the legality standpoint. We don't solicit their clients. If the client says they don't want to work with us, we delete them. We also don't want you angry. So The biggest benefit is just taking that stress so that you as an agent don't have to have that stuff on the closing table and say, what do I do for my water, gas, electricity?
Right.
It's already taken care of. They're moving into the house. It's turnkey ready. And we don't go anywhere. So if there's any issues, they have a dedicated person throughout the move.
Yep. No, it makes sense. So I guess my next question would be, when I started managing your account, there were two companies that did what you did, you and one other. When I left P10 to go to Brinks, there were actually closer to 10 aggregator concierge type businesses that I was managing just in Texas, Oklahoma. So, clearly it's great ideas get replicated. And how do you handle this influx of competition, especially knowing that there are guys out there that are just going to completely fuck it up?
I think you guys, ironically, I think some of our vendors have done a really good job of strengthening, they're not handing out contracts. It's really, really hard to just go pick up a direct AT&T contract. There's other avenues. They can't, with our contracts, we have the ability to offer more referrals, and we're not the only ones. There's a good solid 5 to 6 of them. And honestly, we love our competitors. We make each other better. There's a lot of unique things about us. But it's funny. We've, across the board, it's a new industry. And so a lot of us have kind of come together and said, hey, if you're needing this, we're probably needing it too. Whether it's an API with an electric company, whether it's better reporting, better. Yeah. So it's kind of funny. There's unique differences, and it's funny. Some of them go after property managers really heavy. Some of them go after inspectors, and then some of them, they don't really do what we do. We set up water, gas, electricity. Some of these guys are real heavy on the alarm side. And so we try to do some things different. We have pest control, movers, insurance. We've started to really try to diversify the portfolio. So we're not just needle bin. But on top of it, it's such a new concept. There's still room. Every industry has competition, and I'm hoping that as long as you guys as vendors keep doing a good job and making sure that everything for there to get a license is proven out, I think we'll keep the riffraff away. And if they want to come work for us, we have technology that we can license you, and we'll teach you how to do it the right way. So come on, just send them my way.
So basically what I heard there is every month in a shitty Italian restaurant in the back corner is a meeting of the 5 families. And you, you guys all like, hey, we gotta fucking fix this, eh?
Yeah, some of us still don't meet with the other families. Some of them still hold grudges. But yeah, no, I honestly, we literally had a meeting with one of them yesterday. I just was talking to him about some of the things that's going on. Honestly, how are we setting up our offices right now? Are you guys, asking, hey, are you guys open? How are you going to handle this?
Right.
And I think those are okay to, I think some people view competition. It's like, hey, if the whole industry gets sued at one time because we all did it wrong, then that doesn't look good on anybody. So you got to talk to them.
I'm all about that. Well, shit, when I was at P10, there was 2 distributors. There was P10 and DSI, and we literally were, arch enemies trying to fight over the same pool of potential, customers.
Right. And
I met with that guy every month, had a beer, had a burger, shot the shit, compared notes. I mean, because the swimming pool's big enough for everybody at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And some of these guys are. I think technology is going to be a big play in this market, especially going forward. I can't imagine owning a call center that had 80 people in it. That had to just, you got that commercial tab on top of transitioning everybody home. I think, again, I talked to you offline about this before this. It just, there's going to be some good opportunities for people to get this going.
Oh yeah.
I think you're gonna see a resurgence of. We're even talking about doing an A/B schedule and saying, okay, you guys can still work from home. They have surprised the heck out of me. I think a lot of people have embraced it and said, if I'm going to be home, I don't want to be broke. You know,
right? Yeah. Well, so I
think it's maybe. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
The ones that have had a problem is, I feel for the moms. That's a tough task, you know, work from home, be a teacher. So we've definitely eased the burden on those mamas out there and said, hey, breathe. You guys are doing something that's not, I don't think, humanly possible.
Right.
So, yeah.
It's funny because, you know, I was work from home for years, and actually in my last episode, I talked all about, you know, that making the most of working from home and transitioning and building a new routine. But from a corporate standpoint, when I came to Brinks, I was shouting as loud as I could. It makes zero sense that you expect all of us to come to an office every day. I can't manage a country from an office. I need to be out in the field. And then if I'm not out in the field, you literally lose 3 hours of productivity from me commuting to the office and back. And, you know, it's at the time I was like, it's 2019. There's no reason that we have to be in an office and check a box and say present. And, you know, so quarantine started, and I kind of ate my words because, you know, I want nothing more than to leave the house. And I was in that last episode, I was reflecting that, you know, well, at least when I worked from home before, if I got sick of sitting in the house, I could go to a Starbucks or a Jason's Deli or go shoot the shit with you. I mean, but like here, you don't have that choice. But my productivity has been through the fucking roof. I mean, everybody has the same challenge, but also the same, you know, opening of, hey, you're not commuting anymore, so we can have our first call at 8 a.m. Oh, hey, you're not commuting anymore. I can get you on the phone till 6:30. You know, so. I mean, we're getting shit done. We had to get
a lot of feedback. Do you think for you specifically that had those things been open and you were able to work from home, like let's say the world was fine and you were able to work from home, you'd still be as more productive?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So especially me personally, because I travel so much for work, it's a rarity that I'm in the office. So when I do come to the office, it's a line of people coming to say hello, pick my brain, get me to sign something. And it doesn't matter what I had planned. The first day I'm back after a 3 or 4 day run, my first 4 hours are shot. And I mean, not shot. I mean, I'm getting other people's shit done. I'm just not getting my own stuff done, you know?
Yeah, man, that's, you know, we sent one of our reps home, Laura, and she's a mom, and she goes, I promise you, this is not me working from home. I was like, Laura, this is not a fair judgment of working from home during the current conditions of, you know, what's going on. Because the truth is, you know, I think there's a good way to do this from home. You don't have to have the office.
Absolutely. I think it's a smart move, especially businesses like yours. Why spend all the money on this big piece of commercial real estate or a big lease of commercial real estate when everybody could just do it from home, and those resources could be repurposed elsewhere in the business? You know, either outfitting your employees with better equipment to work from home, or just paying your people more, or, you know, whatever. You know, having, and this isn't a knock on you, but having an 80-person call center with glass walls and, you know, stainless steel appliances, not the best spend of money, you know, when you think about it, especially when it's sitting vacant.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's, you know, we've talked about having a call center, kind of like a place where we rotate coming in. If we have some vendors that are coming in, you can come in throughout the day.
Yep.
And just a place to check in and break up the mundaneness. And I think it's just making sure, though, and I think the reason we do the morning calls as a check-in right now, it's just, are you guys, mental health's a big thing I'm worried about.
Dude, for real.
Big. Hey, are you okay? How's it going? We've changed it to where Tuesdays we just kind of talk about team goals, wins. Hell, today we talked about Waco. We finally got everybody finished the episode Waco on Netflix, and so
is it good?
I talked about David this morning. Oh my god, it's awesome! It's so good.
I'll have to check that out.
Six parts. As I know, you're not a native Texan, but you'll appreciate the overreaching of certain things, and fair. It's phenomenal. So not to get offbeat, but sometimes we just do that. We do a happy hour every Wednesday night at 5:30.
Okay.
We did bingo tonight. But yeah, there's still ways to build culture. The one thing I'm struggling with the office is new hires. How do you bridge the gap virtually with someone you'll never meet?
Right.
How do you build the ownership within a brand? And I'm not saying it's not possible. That's our challenge.
Right.
And I think if we can do these things successfully and grow it virtually, you're seeing a ton of office real estate companies try to do it.
Yeah.
Those will be the winners. Those will be the winners in all this.
Yeah.
Any company.
Yeah. It's crazy. So we just hired right as this was starting. So mid-March, we hired a director who's based out of Fresno, and he couldn't come to the office. So we had to ship him his equipment, his laptop and all of his gear. But somebody forgot to provision the laptop. He didn't have an email address set up yet. I mean, it was the most piss poor delivery ever. And this guy's like, I thought you guys were a multi-million dollar company. I was like, yeah, we are. We just need a mulligan.
we usually don't have a pandemic going on.
Right. Exactly.
I feel like that's at least you're going to get some grace for a while. Like, this damn pandemic. Yeah, we've seen, I'm not going to lie to you, man. When this all happened, we knew we had the money. We didn't furlough anyone. We just said, hey, we moved everyone home before March, I would say last week, it was like the 5th, whenever school's 5th of March.
No shit.
Yeah, man, just transitioned everybody home. And we were like, look,
we didn't go till March 20th.
We knew it was going to happen. So we said, let's get ahead of it. Let's work out all the freaking kinks.
Right.
And that was probably the best blessing we've had. The biggest thing is, our problems are like, so-and-so, I read this on Slack, this text, and it seemed very sarcastic. I'm like, it had a shrug emoji, so you can't there's no tone to text.
Right.
And those, all of our problems now are so unique to, we never had that in the office. We just get up and go talk to someone, and that's just not happening. And so I'm glad we got ahead of it. But yeah, how do you hire someone right now? Interviewing's fine. We've got the Zoom interview.
Right.
Can you imagine being introduced to Brink on Zoom? Like all your employees, like, hey, everyone, this is Eric. Everyone say hi. And you got like 900, hi.
Yeah, it would be a piss poor time to join the company. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And would you feel like I'm really welcomed here? Like, how could you?
Right. Yeah, it's funny because the handful of people that have joined our organization, I've made direct phone calls to on their first day and just, hey, I know this is weird, but how are you? How are things? What do you need to know? Mm-hmm. I don't have to tell you where the bathroom is. You already know that,
I'm going to keep that one.
Hey,
That's a good one.
Right. You're welcome. One dad to another. That one's a burner.
Eric's yeah.
So let's talk about your employees. So, I admire the way you guys have handled your employees because you are beyond what I would call the corporate norm as far as the way you support your folks. So kind of dive into that. Explain, you know, this is your time to puff your chest and brag for a minute.
We take care of our folks, man. We do have a ownership pool that we've kind of put together where it's they have an opportunity. We don't have a 401k as we're not public, or, you know, we don't have any stock that we can give them.
Right.
But we do have an equity pool that if they helped grow this business into this big conglomerate, and anything were to ever happen or sell, they have a piece of it. The other thing is, we put metrics in place that we ask when we're hiring, what do they need to make?
Right.
Like, what is their survival number, and where are they going to be happy? And you've got to find those numbers and get them there as fast as possible and give them all the tools. And the other thing is ownership is, I literally yelled this in my Slack channel yesterday because I can't yell at them right now. It's like, we embrace ideas. You got to tell me, you know?
Right.
You know, just listening to them. I have that mentality of, if I'm going to hire someone, I would hope that they're smarter than me at certain parts of life. Right? Like, it doesn't mean they're just overall just as, hell, we've got some people that have a IQ that are far above me, but my common sense and business sense is way above theirs, you know? So, you know, just finding those people that you know are going to be a fit to the organization and buy in, and then listen to them. And if someone says, I feel like I'm not making enough money, we break it down. We're very transparent. They know where everything goes.
Right.
We're also not driving Mercedes and brand new cars every month and then knowing that they're living paycheck to paycheck.
What was your first company car, Chase?
It was a Nissan Altima.
But
super reliable.
Bro, when you guys got those, because it was, you and Rocky and Spencer, all three got one, right? And yeah. It was really more to build credit for the business than a necessity of the car.
Yep.
But you would have thought, when I was at your office in Austin, you would have thought that all three of you had bought fucking Lambos because you were just so fucking stoked about it.
We're like, this is our company car. Look at it. And now we've upgraded to a Maxima and a Titan.
Dang.
Yeah. I think that's optics though, man. And I think, you know, I hate letting people go because I feel like I fail inherently. It's like, what did I do to not get them to get it to click? And so this past year, man, I think that's the thing that we've just been brutally honest in the interview of, we are a newer company. Like, there's a lot of room to grow, but don't come in, get pissed off because something's not right, and then not say anything.
Right.
Like, if you're going to join a company, make them better. Use your voice. And if you're not, you cannot bitch.
Right.
Like, if I'm, as the president, saying there's probably some flaws here, I know that, and we're desperately working on it every day to make every ounce better. But if you see something with your eyes, you know, you can use your mouth too. And empowering them, dude, I swear, how do we make our meetings better? We just sat there. What do you want to hear? Well, we'd love to hear vendors. We have Brinks coming in next Wednesday.
Okay.
You know, hey, we want to hear what they're doing. Well, on it. We're bringing on it. But they even said to a T, they're like, we want to talk to their call center reps. Okay. And it's funny, our reps don't want to talk to the business owners of our other vendors. We're getting them to talk to the other sales reps.
Right.
That are in their positions with the other companies and building that relationship. You know, I ask them all the time, you know, I know some of them, like Skylar, manager, I know she didn't stay for 3 years for the pay.
Right.
She, as much as we were, you know, trying to be equals, but, you know, we have started being able to put bonuses in place. We have a pretty hefty base up front. And as the market moves, you know, I kept saying, damn, Amazon, Bezos, he keeps pushing that, you know, $17, $20 an hour. You know, it was just, we're going to compete with those things, even as a small business. And we were willing to lose money on people if it meant that they were going to buy in like 3 to 6 months and we knew what the return would be.
Right. Well, you're making an investment.
Yeah.
So
and not blame them.
Right. Well, and so it's funny because in even in my current role, I work with a ton of small business owners, and one of the most common things I hear is it's too expensive to run a small business. Whether it's because of taxes or because of inflated wages or whatever, I can't run a small business. It just I can't afford it, and I always scratch my head and I go, dude, bullshit. I ran a business years ago. Now it was a consulting firm with 3 whole employees. But I've seen businesses like yours that you're not on some magic term sheet where you're getting paid 10 times more than everybody else. You're spending your money smarter,
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, we invest it in the people, invest it. And then, biggest thing is like right now we have 190 leads that came in today that we haven't had assigned, and when they need to do the pre-research. Myself, Rocky, Mike, Peyton, the owners, before they put them in, because our staff's bogged down right now, we did all the pre-research.
Right.
I mean, we're not above anything and I think that's, you see these guys that want to start a company and they see these entrepreneurs on some of these influencers and they think, oh my God, those influencers busted their ass. They didn't, I mean, some of them, I'm sure there's a privileged one here and every there, but like, some of these, I don't want to say influencers busted their ass, but some of these vloggers that I've seen, like the amount, like what you're trying to, I mean, dude, this is, you got to grind and the instant gratification,
right.
that is, if they don't understand it's not going to happen overnight. That's the biggest thing.
So that's
been tough.
That's a fascinating point though, is you, Rocky, and Spencer have all sat in the chair of an entry-level employee in your company because you guys were literally smiling and dialing. In fact, one of my last visits to your office, Rocky was on the phone smiling and dialing, helping because you guys had a shit ton of leads come in that day. And I look at other business owners that I work with and I've worked with in the past, and they wouldn't fucking do that. They would be screaming red hot pissed because so-and-so didn't come in and they're short staffed, but they wouldn't pick up and do the work themselves. And it's just, it's a tone deafness. I mean, I tell people I work with virtually the same pitch that you have is I understand everything you've done because I've been in your shoes. I've owned a dealership. I've owned a company. I've been the entry-level sales guy. I've literally stepped in every shoe and so I totally get where you're coming from, but the difference is I'm willing to go back to that shoe.
Yep.
If I have to. Yep. One of the greatest examples I ever have, and it's kind of my back pocket. I'm going to make you feel like shit for telling me that something is below you is, when my consulting company folded up, I did not have a job. I had $0 to my name. I had zero income, and I was just not finding something quick enough. So I was still living in a high-rise downtown Dallas and was stuck in the lease. So I went and got a job at Domino's delivering pizzas every night so that I had quick cash on hand. I already knew how to do the job because I had done it in high school. And I was literally damn near 30 years old delivering pizzas in downtown Dallas. And so every morning from 8 a.m. till about 4, I'm job searching, interviewing, doing what I can. And then at 4 o'clock I go and I fucking deliver pizzas. And if you're not willing really, regardless if you're a business owner or just any individual, if you're not willing to take that step backwards and do something that others would say is below them just to make sure you get by and not take a handout, then fucking shame on you. And
I know.
And that's where the 3 of you guys are like fucking gods in my mind, is because you're just humble, you're modest, and you know what you have to do to keep the wheels rolling,
Yeah, I appreciate that. Those guys and Mike definitely. I mean, that team thing, definitely, there's been moments where we're like, dude, we've made some bad mistakes. Like I said, we signed up for a lead source one time. We've been a bad batch until we figured out kind of, hey, maybe we should teach them real estate instead of this, the electricity first. And just having those and kind of having those guys be like, hey, it's okay. We're gonna, we've all had individual moments and then, personal moments between, I think all of us as humans go through certain periods in life where there's just, those years or those days for everyone right now. It's a weird time. So you're kind of all in it. And then having those people say, hey, we're going to get through it. So that's a big one. And then, as far as the growth thing is just continuing to believe in that brand. And like you said, get dirty. Our conversation today about working from home was, so what today is challenging that wasn't, 5 weeks ago?
Right.
Whether you'll be happy to know this, like these guys aren't doing installs anymore. So now it's like, we've got to sit with our staff and say, okay, how do we modify this script? How do we do this? And just don't take your finger off the pulse. I'm sure our wives sometimes do a good job of helping us too. And we've got a good family life. So
sure.
If anyone's listening, if you're going to do it by yourself, know it's going to take some time. Because you got to just kind of put all the pieces together. But if you do have a team, delegate.
Right.
And I think you can build it. But yeah, I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I really, really wouldn't. I'll be such a bad employee one day.
Dude, so how long from the day of inception, how long until the four of you were comfortable? And I mean, as a business owner, you're never comfortable. If you don't wake up every day with something, bothering you or worrying you, but from both a financial standpoint and a security standpoint, was it a year? Was it 2 years? What did that look like for you guys?
Yeah. The first year sucked, like the whole year. I mean, there was I want to say it was like $3,000 a month we were making, something like that. But that's before taxes. So maybe at like the height of it. And this was all commission. So we just kind of averaged out our pots. If when we got leads in and everything, it would just kind of average out. Second year was not much different. Third year, because we dumped everything back in, we had a profit. And we're like, okay, now we don't have to do this. We can hire people.
Right.
So just kept dumping we dumped all of our profits that year, didn't take a distribution, just put it all back in. Third year, we gave ourselves a raise. I think, we got the car in year 2. That was our big thing in year 2. It's like, hey, we need to build credit so we can buy an office and, you can get an office and get out of the garage. So thank God we had some buddies at Nissan of Grapevine.
Shout out.
That was the other thing. Shout out. Got the cars. That was our big win for the year. Year 3, we got that office, the first one, really going, like the nice one. Well, our version of nice. Not a nice office. Year 4, we finally got a decent, we started really, I felt pretty comfortable. We bought a house. We had put in enough money and still started getting distributions. And that's when I started being like, okay, our bank account is in security. Like, our reserves are full.
Yep.
Our people have we would always try to bonus someone first. It was like, okay, who haven't we paid? Right. And then it was like, oh my God, getting the first distribution check was like, holy cow.
Right.
Like, and knowing that it was all 4 of us taking the same amount of money, for me paying off some big debts from college and just like, holy crap, this is the dream. And yeah, this year we were ready, like last year and last year we had a killer year. Last year we were coming off all-time high. And we're riding into 2020. We just moved into our brand new office. We signed a 5-year deal. Oh. It's huge. We did all this nice construction. We bought 70-inch TVs. We're putting cultural writings on the wall. Everyone's getting stand-up desks now. I mean, again, we're still investing in our employees. That was a big thing. They all wanted to stand. That's what I said. We bought all these stand-up desks, monitors, and then ghost town. So we put out a survey yesterday. I think this is what a lot of people need to think of. You can't, real tricky forcing people to go back in an uncomfortable workspace when you're profiting.
Right.
You can't tell your employees, hey, we're profiting, but we need you to go back to the office.
Right.
So I think there's some things that we can fix and we are going to fix to kind of hybrid it. But I'm just so proud of my team through this. I think that we just really, really set the bar high for ourselves and constantly communicated. We did better. We're on pace to do more leads this May than like the last 2 Mays combined. And we're in a pandemic. So It's just,
dude, that's fucking crazy.
I don't know.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Our folks love it. So
can you see my door moving?
Do your cat?
Yeah. Fucking asshole cat. Every episode I've recorded, she has beat the door down.
Yeah, so this didn't have a door. I actually put that up because of my cat. I'm not kidding you. You just come in and this is my calls. Yeah. Just, he'll bite my ankle too.
I have one under my desk right now biting my ankles, and the other one just jumped up on the desk, and they're worse than my 4-year-old.
Yeah.
How old's your daughter now, too?
18 months.
Holy shit.
30 pounds.
Holy shit.
She's a healthy child.
My daughter is 4.5. She just hit the 40-pound mark.
Dude, yeah. She was in 97% in weight, 89, 88% in height. And I have the tiniest, I've always had I always wear small, medium hats. By God, she has 30% talent head. I was like, she's my kid. She's my head.
Yeah, I've never had that problem. My daughter is 99th percentile height, 23rd percentile weight.
String bean.
And she fucking eats like a horse.
I bet.
Dude,
girl dad.
She sat in this chair back here with her iPad and her headphones while I was on conference calls today. And I had one of those bags of like the little mini chocolate frosted donuts. And it was, I mean, it was the big, full top bag.
Yeah.
It was brand new. And I was like, here, this will shut you up while you watch your iPad. And 2 conference calls later, I turn around and she's like, Dad, and she's holding the bag upside down and there's nothing. I was like, are you fucking kidding? Like, at least share with me. Brad.
Yeah. Yeah. So dude, you told me she's a wild child. First year's tough for the dads. Just like, give me some feedback.
You don't want me. You only want your mom.
Oh yeah.
And your hours of operation suck.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
I got called a man child. We had a rough night last night, and we're waking up. I was like, just give me 30 more minutes. She's like, you're such a man child. And that literally got me up. I was like, I don't want to be a man child.
Yeah, I'm not a bitch.
Well, I'll get up. Yeah.
So
is quarantine throw your schedule off? Sorry.
Oh yeah, dude. Before quarantine, I got up every day at 4:30 without an alarm clock. I would get up at 4:30. I would go to the gym. I would put in an hour and a half or 2 hours of working out. I would shower and get dressed at the gym, and I would go to the office. Work all day, home by 6:30, dinner with the family, put Judy to bed, and then I was asleep by 9.
See, that's the thing that was kicking my butt. I couldn't get to bed early enough.
Yeah. But in quarantine, especially with the gym not being open and my hatred for running, which was all I could do because I don't have a home gym setup. All of a sudden I was staying up till 11:30, midnight. Now, dude, I sleep. I woke up this morning to Judy knocking on our bedroom door at 7:05. And I don't like it, man. Like getting up at 4:30 sucked. But I was in such a routine, it didn't bother me. But what was nice about it is I had 4 hours to do whatever I wanted before I had to think about work. And
Yeah.
waking up at 7:05 and my first call was at 8 a.m. this morning. And I wasn't even like awake and functioning by the time it started. So I fucking hate it. I hate it.
I get it. And people are showering, you know, this is what I would play. They're like, hey, some days I'll shower at 11, and sometimes it'll trickle down to like 6. And then the next day it's like, well, now I showered at 6 last night. I don't want to shower at 8 a.m. now. The routines across America, man, just.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. I'm if I could shower 3 times a day, I would kind of guy. And I just realized, I guess it was Tuesday. I was like, I don't remember the last time I showered. And it was like Saturday. And I was like, God, this is fucking disgusting.
You're in Little Elm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got my buddy that he started, you know, speaking of work ethic, he started a landscape right during the pandemic, poor guy. Fertilizer. He was a mortgage guy. He was tired of dealing with people. He's like, don't want to deal with it. I'm going to start a fertilizer business. I was like, a what?
Dude, I
North Texas.
I bet he's booming though.
He's killing it. My yard looks great too. But he was talking about starting up a business. He grew up with Spencer. He was my roommate in college with Spencer and I. Yeah. He knows Rocky. He calls us. He's like, y'all are nuts. What were y'all thinking starting a business? And I was like, he's working at Amazon right now. Dude has a MBA from tech, finance major, brilliant, quit it. And because he wasn't making what he was, still picked up a job at Amazon, not better than it. And, you know, it's like, to your point,
yeah,
some people are not above anything.
Yep. It's funny because have you ever just, you know, scrolled Instagram looking at the hashtag entrepreneur? Like,
oh yeah,
it's every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry standing in front of like a Bentley or a Lambo or a private jet. And it's like, bro, I promise you either don't own that, you don't lease it. Like, I see like guys paying a day rental to have a photo shoot with the car. So just so that they can have the hashtag and get the likes. And it's like, that's not fucking like, dude, you're not grinding. You're
that's not a grind.
No, you're just a like farm at that point.
Exactly. They're literally looking to get some other company to advertise, and they're buying advertising, a car or whatever to get. It's like, you don't see the definition of insanity.
Yeah. Question, Chase.
Yep.
Have you listened or watched any of my podcasts?
I've watched. So before this, yes, I caught up. I did. Yeah. I didn't even know you were doing this though. Like, it's the thing.
So I've not been pushing it hard on social or SEO purely because I don't want to turn that faucet on until I've got a fair amount of content, so that if somebody listens to something and they like it, they don't go, oh, this guy's only done like 2 episodes. Fuck that. Like I want to, my magic number is like 20 episodes. And then I'm going to fucking deep dive into like really blowing it up on like social media posts, like really taking a Gary V approach, and like maybe out of this episode, it will yield 10 1-minute clips or, you know, 10, 30-second clips that, you know, I can put into a feeder, and they just, you know, disperse out, you know, spend a Sunday night setting it all up, and it just disperses through the week, you know?
I love it.
So
it's the way of the future, man. I mean, people like to listen to other people.
It's true.
And I'm one of them. Like, yeah. I love hearing success stories. I'm like, I listen to the podcast on Joe Rogan, the Fight Companion, and he goes, they're just talking, and you just pick stuff up, you know. It doesn't have to be your way or my way. It's, you know, my favorite thing is let's beat a bad idea with a better idea. Love that.
Yeah.
Such a simple, so, you know.
What's your favorite business or entrepreneurial podcast that you listen to now?
That's loaded. Man, that's loaded. It's so okay. So I've honestly gotten into a lot of these real estate ones. Okay. I'm listening to like a lot of these big I'm getting into investing with real estate and looking into that.
Yeah.
So I'm really heavy in that and learning. I don't want to be a real estate agent, but I'm fascinated by some of the things. I'm really, I've been in it for 10 years. So following a lot of Nick and Austin Good, the Good Home Team podcast, Home Team. That's a good one. I listen to Gary Vee for motivation.
Dude, Gary Vee is my entrepreneur go-to. Have you ever texted him? He's big on that text me.
I should, and I haven't. See, that's my thing.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. And I'll tell you why. So he and Bert Kreischer both have that community phone number that you can text, and they'll text you back. And I've sent both of them a text message because my favorite business-focused podcast is Gary Vee, and my favorite non-business podcast is either Two Bears, One Cave or the Bert Cast. Both are Bert Kreischer. So I sent both of them.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Oh, dude, 100%. I sent them both a text message to their community phone number, and you get an automated text saying, this is a community phone number, click this link and register your name and phone number so that it's in their address book. And then as soon as I did that, like, I get nothing from Bert. Every day I get a sappy, emotional, like motivational text from Gary Vee, because he's on that big, lovey-dovey kick. But no response to either one. I'm like, okay, I get that there's probably tens of thousands of people messaging you, but mine was thought out. It was focused, and it had a call to action, and God damn it, I wanted that satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the Kerwin Ray, South African dude.
Okay.
Awesome. I'll send you a link.
Dude,
that's the other guy. I'm big on like why we communicate the way we do is something I'm really getting into right now. And then this whole digital age and watching even my employees, how they interpret text, just brutally wrong.
Yeah.
And what that's going to do to the workplace. So many people really, really underestimate tone and facial expressions.
Yeah. I can't tell you in quarantine how many times I've had to pick up the phone and explain why I was not being an asshole or why I'm not angry, or, because apparently I am very short and brash in emails. Like I get 500 plus emails a day. So if you get a response from me, it's yes, no, okay. It's very rare that you get a full paragraph unless if you get a full paragraph, I'm angry at you. But apparently that one word response is very callous and rude and angry. No shit.
Here's the thing, because I don't know. I got one from my employee today, Sandra. She's a little bit older than I am. That's the one where sometimes, and I'm intimidated by that, is, hey, I know she's been in real estate for like 30 years. So she's got this wealth of knowledge of real estate, and I love her to death. And I said this to her earlier. She sent me something saying, I'm going to XYZ seminar. It's a real estate forecast tomorrow. And it was, it's just like, oh, you're going? Like, just didn't even ask. It's like, this is what I'm doing.
Right.
And I said, that's really cool. What time does it start? She says 11:30, 12:30. I was like, perfect. Are you going to just be doing it on your lunch break? Yep. Just the yep.
No, that's par for the course with me.
Yep. And same with my order entry guys. I love Andrew to death. Everything's okay. Great.
Yeah, dude. Yep. Time is money. Keystrokes equal money, man.
Yeah, our cardinal rule right now is if you have to explain a question, the next thing that you should be asking is, do you have a minute for me to call you?
Right.
It's like, your second question would be, can I call you?
Right. Yeah, I'm not a big phone guy, and the whole quarantine has really forced my hand on that one.
I'm forced to talk to you all the time. Talk to me for 30 minutes. See, I've been at home. Now you know.
That's what. So, what would you like to promote or put out there?
Man, main thing is if you are in the Texas market, we will be probably opening a Dallas office sooner than later this year. We've got an office location. Um, we're looking for help still. Even when this airs, we're growing. If you're in the real estate community, we'd love to be a part of your team. We'd love to be an asset to your clients and how they move. If you're not moving and you have any questions on if you think you're paying too much for bills, if you need help, if you need guidance, you can give us a call. We're kind of a one-stop solution. So if anyone has any questions regarding the utility world, the telecom world, just really the home space, we've been doing it a while. We've got a great staff. Our big thing is transparency. Our core values are something we stick by. We'd love to help anyone watching out if they have any questions.
Awesome. So since you have seen the podcast, you know that I will take you out with my intro outro music. So I don't even have to ask you if you know the name of my podcast. My mom and my best friend didn't fucking know it, but
it's on your you have your second Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Like you have okay. So I went on there. I was like, because Rocky didn't know either. He's like, what do you mean?
No shit.
Yeah.
Did he just have another kid?
Yes, his two.
Holy shit.
I know.
Are you guys
on me.
Are you guys one and done, or are you shooting for more?
Isn't that the great debate? I love the attention that I can give her. Yeah. I love that. I feel like we're in a good spot right now in our house.
Yeah. Kids are fucking expensive, dude.
And that's it.
Bro, no shame in one and done. I went and got the snip. There is no way that shit's happening again.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I was so nervous. I know I talked to you about this. I absolutely love that I'm a girl dad.
Oh yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. I couldn't fathom having a son.
I know. But here's what my good buddy of mine, had his first son, then they wanted another one. Now he's having twins.
Yeah. Oh.
So he was going to be 2 and done, and now he has 3.
My brother-in-law, and his wife, had a son 2 weeks after our daughter was born, and they wanted another and had twins, and they want to keep going. And I'm like, what in the fuck? Like, that's no. Like, don't get me wrong. I love my daughter. I love her more than anything. That's enough.
Yeah. A couple of my buddies are like that. I mean, look, and I think that's a responsible thing. Like, hey, we got a good thing going right now. Yeah. We're able to control. We're able to be good parents. It is crazy though. I feel like society is always like, are you going to do more? Are you going to do more? It's like, I gave you this beautiful child.
Right. I gave you perfection.
Yeah. You're just shooting odds now.
So the only other factor besides time and money was age, because I don't want to be the old dad. I had a buddy in high school. His dad was 60 years old at his high school graduation. And I don't want to be that guy. In fact, on the flip side, all the people I graduated with that I was making fun of because they accidentally, or in some cases purposely, had kids at like 19 and 20. I'm so fucking envious right now because their kids are like almost out of high school. And I'm like, oh my God, you're not even 40. And like you have light at the end of your tunnel. Like, you son of a bitch.
I literally have good friends in high school. They have like a 9 and 12-year-old. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, yeah. In the words of Bon Jovi, whoa, they're halfway there.
But they were high school sweethearts, so good for them.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm glad I was kid free in my 20s, but
yeah,
now
sure.
I'm jealous that I won't be kid free in my 40s.
That's the other thing is I can't imagine starting a business. My wife was super. Yeah, you got to find a great wife too. That helps all entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
I think that was the thing is we were honest and just was like, hey, this is year 1. We did a 5-year vision. I'm big on those. Yep. 5 years, not one. It's important to do one.
Right.
And obviously do the milestones, but like, it doesn't, I think some people get hung up on like, I need a Ferrari in 5 years. Don't talk about material stuff. Talk about like, mine was, we wanted a new office, and dude, it gives me chills reading my 5-year vision sometimes.
Yeah.
So, big on that.
It's crazy because, at the end of 2018, I was blogging, and I honestly, I should do it more cause I enjoyed it and I was pretty good at it, but I wrote a post sitting in Green Bay, Wisconsin. No, I was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, flying home, right before New Year's Eve. And the article was, welcome 2019. You're up next. Don't fuck it up. And basically I talked about all the shit that I endured in 2018. And I put some hypothesis and goal setting out there for 2019, both in the industry, in my career, and in my personal life. And I went back to write a blog post the same time, ironically sitting in Wisconsin, flying home right before New Year's this year, or this past year. And I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to do a follow-up and talk about, how it really panned out. All of my industry guesses were wrong. All of my career and personal were spot on, including like buying a house, getting a senior management level promotion. And I was like, holy shit. Like I manifested that. And I'm a big believer in, I'm not good about doing it every single day, but I write my goals, my short-term and long-term goals as often as I can remember. And it's truly, you just manifesting that shit and you're holding yourself accountable, and it's fucking nutty.
Dude, to your point, it is funny how some of the big things, like you got a home, you got the job, like the important stuff, sometimes like mine was like winning my fantasy football league. That didn't happen. Yes. It's okay when some of the dumb goals don't hit, but sure. Yeah. Good job on getting that new promotion, man. It's big moves, man.
Dude, it's a crazy industry. We're taking a different approach than others, but dude, I'll tell you, it's this year, even with everything going on in the current climate, we're going to make some crazy moves for the industry. So
yeah, I believe it.
Well, good deal. Well, we have gone.
I told you an hour.
Yeah. Well, hour and a half, man.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's awesome.
So, again, Chase Harrell, 360 Home Connect. I'll put all of your details in the episode notes. I'm also going to link, the podcast that you're going to text to me. And sure. I'll also link my Nostradamus 2018-2019 article that I wrote. So, thank you everybody for listening. I'm Eric Hattie. That's Chase Harrell. This is Everyday Hustle. And I promise the next one won't suck.